ashes.
I think scuba divers as a collective are a very important part of conservation, especially marine conservation. I've never met a body of people who spend so much time talking about the effects of the environment on marine life, on fish stocks. I work with Yorkshire Divers, a very large diving community, who are constantly talking to me and others about what's happening in the conservational world. How can people get involved? How can people decide, as a diver, I want to start doing more to help the environment? What would you advise them to do?
Well, number one, divers and snorkelers are the only people who look below the surface, except for maybe glass bottom boats. But the people who really get in touch with the marine environment is only these two people, snorkelers and scuba divers. As a result, we have a major responsibilities, and because we're the only ambassadors, we're the only people who can come up back to the surface and report what we see and what's happening. Now, unfortunately, the certification agencies have failed to fulfill their obligations, because you certify a diver and the diver gets in the water and doesn't know what he or she are going to see. Environmental care has to be introduced and made mandatory as part of the educational certification process of every certification agencies.
A lot of them they have courses which you can buy which do that, but it should be at the
That's all commercial.
It should be at the beginning. It should be
mandatory.
In the water.
Mandatory.
For me,
it's criminal not to do that. And I've been trying to push that, but because money talk, it's too much work. They don't want to add it to their mandatory course. Every scuba diver should be an environmentalist by definition, if the industry wants to survive and if those divers want to enjoy diving.
I totally agree. If the industry does want to survive, we do need to start thinking more and more about it. I do. I never started thinking about it until I've seen the effects of the reefs being destroyed that I've seen. For me, what I've been told, keeping your buoyancy really is you trying to be a conservationist. What you're saying is that you need to be thinking about how can I protect the environment, what can I do? Things like using operators which have got a good history of working with conservation. I was talking to an operator today who works with the Dominica, with the government there, to try and protect the environment, setting up marine parks. I think more can be done. Paddy definitely could do more to try and promote that.
Well, Paddy is a commercial entity. I know Paddy very well.
Yes.
And you know, they've created Project Aware. Great. But it's not mandatory, it's an option. And I think they need to make it mandatory. And if they had the courage to lead the way, since they are a for-profit organization making a lot of money, I think they can show the way to the other certification agencies.
The legacy that you have from your father is it's very important to everybody, not just to the family, but to everybody who knows and who's watched his films, read his books, and who's effectively created the sport as it is today. Do you feel the pressure of that? Do you feel that you have to carry on?
No. There's no pressure at all. I feel immensely privileged that I have the right to bear the name that I have. I have more than 60 years of experience in the ocean because my dad pushed me overboard when I was 7, and it was part of the family affair. And I think it's extremely helpful that I can introduce myself as the son of a famous person who has taught me everything I know, and I'm immensely grateful for that education that I've had. So it's a privilege.
Well, I'm going to just leave it there. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I've never got to meet the man himself, and it's just to see what you're doing now. I bet he'd be proud of if he was here right now.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Good luck.